Good morning, boys and girls. Miss Wainwright decided to bring her yoga mat outside this morning and do my morning yoga. And so I just thought, what a great idea to do our read aloud outside today. Miss Wainwright loves it outside. All my boys and girls know that about me. And so I'm going to do our read aloud outside today. And the book that I'm going to read to you guys today is called The Lotus Seed. And my friends will remember we were doing a lot of practice in February with picking out the lesson of the books that we read, which was a sentence, a lesson that you can learn. We would say that in a complete sentence to somebody, or we would write it in a complete sentence. But we were also picking out the theme of the stories that we read, and a theme is one word, like courage, friendship, love, honesty, things like that. So we're going to read The Lotus Seed today. It's an awesome book, guys. And even though it's a fourth grade level, I think if you listen to it a couple of times and maybe you can discuss it with whoever's watching it with you, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, I think you'll do just fine on the AR test. Okay. So The Lotus Seed is written by Sherry Garland. She wrote all these beautiful words, and it's a really awesome story. And it's illustrated by, I'm going to say, Tashiro Kiyuchi. I'm not sure, but that's my best try on that name. The Lotus Seed. And guys, this is a lotus flower. This is her dedication page. And I love this right here. She dedicated it to Dean, who longs to see the lotus blooms of Vietnam once again. And the illustrator said to Munyo, Akio, and Lynn. And then down here it says, nothing that grows in a pond surpasses the beauty of the lotus flower. With its green leaves and silky yellow styles amidst milky white petals, though mired in mud, its silky yellow styles, its milky white petals and green leaves do not smell of mud. That's interesting. And they grow in mud. I don't know of any other plants that grow in mud. My granny always said plants do not like to get their feet wet, which is their roots. So she said the worst thing you can do with your plants is overwater them. But the lotus thrives in mud. My grandmother saw the emperor cry the day he lost his golden throne. She wanted something to remember him by, so she snuck down to the silent palace near the river of perfumes and plucked a seed from a lotus pod that rattled in the imperial garden. I'm going to try to pull that in really close so you can see her. They look kind of like lily pads, don't they, guys? She hid the seed in a special place under the family altar, wrapped in a piece of silk from the ade she wore that day. Whenever she felt sad or lonely, she took out the seed and thought of the brave young emperor. There she is, hiding it. And when she married a young man chosen by her parents, she carried the seed inside her pocket for good luck, long life, and many children. When her husband marched off to war, she raised her children alone. There she is with her husband. One day, bombs fell all around, and soldiers clamored door to door. She took the time to grab the seed, but left her mother-of-pearl hair combs lying on the floor. Wow, she left one treasure, but grabbed another, guys. That lotus seed was very, very important to her. One terrible day, her family scrambled into a crowded boat and set out on a stormy sea. Ba watched the mountains and the waving palms slowly fade away. She held the seed in her shaking fingers and silently said goodbye. She arrived in a strange new land with blinking lights and speeding cars and towering buildings that scraped the sky and a language she didn't understand. She worked many years day and night, and so did her children and her sisters and her cousins too, living together in one big house. Wow. It's awesome to have a big family. Last summer, my little brother found the special seed and asked questions again and again. He had never seen a lotus bloom or an emperor on a golden dragon throne. So one night, he stole the seed from beneath the family altar and planted it in a pool of mud somewhere near Ba's onion patch. Ba cried and cried when she found out the seed was gone. She didn't eat. She didn't sleep. And my silly brother forgot what spot of earth held the seed. Oh no, he forgot where he planted it. Then, one day in spring, my grandmother shouted, and we all ran to the garden and saw a beautiful pink lotus unfurling its petals, so creamy and soft. It is the flower of life and hope, my grandmother said. No matter how ugly the mud or how long the seed lies dormant, the bloom will be beautiful. It is the flower of my country. When the lotus blossom faded and turned into a pod, Ba gave each of her grandchildren a seed to remember her by, and she kept one for herself to remember the emperor by. Look at that, guys. They're all sharing the special seeds from that beautiful lotus flower that grew in the mud. I wrapped my seed in a piece of silk and hid it in a secret place. Someday, I will plant and give the seeds to my own children and tell them about the day my grandmother saw the emperor cry. She's putting it in her bedside table, guys. I put lots of my treasures there too. I think that is an awesome story. I think there's lots of lessons that we could learn from this, and probably some great themes in this. The lesson that really just jumped out at me was that, the flower is planted in mud, and even though it's in mud, which is not the best surroundings or situation to be in, the lotus bloomed beautiful and gorgeous and was something that could be shared with families, even friends. And so it just reminded me that sometimes as humans, we're going to be planted kind of in situations that are not perfect, that are not just really the best situation, conducive to being happy-go-lucky and stress-free. And that's okay, because that's when, and guys, we've talked about this in the classroom about what's in our heart. And that's when we find out what's inside us is so much more beautiful and so much more positive than maybe what's going on around us, okay? So I want my friends to remember, guard your heart. Keep your heart safe. Guard it from all the ugly and stay happy and love your people and smile big, because you guys have the most beautiful smiles I have ever seen. And your smiles and your voices are what I am missing the most right now. So smile those beautiful smiles and use your voices to be kind and loving and encouraging in your homes. And Miss Wainwright cannot wait to read you another book tomorrow. You guys have a fabulous Thursday. I think it's Thursday today. I'm kind of losing track of what the days are. But I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I hope you love your people and get lots of hugs. And I'll see you next time.